Alright, I am making this video in response to Mayim Bialik's video that she put on her YouTube channel about gun control, and wanting more of it because of the school shooting in Florida at the high school. Let's see. Okay. All right. Anyway, I've got a question for people that support gun control. How are you going to prevent criminals from getting weapons? Let's suppose they turn in their weapons and law enforcement comes and gets their guns, and everything else they have, comes and gets their guns. How are you going to prevent them from getting more weapons, more guns, on the black market or the dark web? Okay, ask yourself that question. How are you going to prevent them from doing that? Okay, because if you can't prevent them, if you can't prevent criminals from getting, from getting guns on the black market or the dark web, then every gun control law that you have on the books is completely useless. Because criminals will have the weapons, but the law-abiding citizens will not. Unless they refuse to turn them in, because they're probably not going to be able to have the ability to get weapons on the black market or the dark web. Most citizens like myself would not be able to do that. We would not be able to get, be able to do that. I don't know anybody that's selling guns out of the trunk of their car. I have no idea. I don't know anybody that does that. So I certainly wouldn't be able to get to buy any guns from somebody, from a black market gun dealer, and the dark web. I have no idea. I would never get on the dark web. Ever, I wouldn't know how to do that either. I wouldn't know how to buy a gun on the black market, on the dark web, So, millions of people like me who live in bad neighborhood, crime-ridden neighborhoods are going to be poor, defenseless victims of these criminals that continue to feed off of law-abiding citizens. Okay? The only time gun control works is if you are able to lock up every criminal out there. If you can lock them all up and prevent them from being able to go to the black market or the dark web to get guns, then all gun control laws are completely useless. It's not going to happen. Okay? I mean, it's never going to happen. So anyway, yeah, see my t-shirt, got freedom. Yeah. I mean, I don't have a gun. I don't have a squirt gun. I don't have a paintball gun. I used to, but I don't have them anymore. Okay. I got a paintball gun when a guy threatened my life. You know, to have something. I mean, I wasn't, I was in the Navy for almost 8 years, so I know how to use a gun. Okay? I know how to load one, I know how to use it. If I had one, if I had a gun, I know how to use it. You know, don't buy a gun unless you know how to use it. Well, I do, so you don't have to worry about me shooting the wrong person, because that's not going to happen. You know, people who belong to the NRA, they're either going to use it for sport, hunting, hunting deer animal, target shooting, hunt for hunting, target shooting, or just collecting guns. Gun collector. That's it. Those are the three things that people who belong to NRA belong to, or people who want to protect themselves. Four things, four groups that they fall into. Okay? And they pretty much would know how to use a gun. Okay? They know how to use it, and they would know how to prevent someone they love from getting hurt. They would know how to store one, and so that if they have kids, they know how to keep it in a place where those kids can't get at it and shoot somebody by accident. But that's, one of the excuses people for gun control use. But anyway, let's see. Check getting back to my question, how are you going to prevent criminals from doing that? The only way you're going to prevent criminals from getting guns on the black market or the dark web is to have them locked up. That's it. Then nobody would need a gun. But you can't do that. That's not going to happen. It is not going to happen that you are going to be able to prevent them from getting a gun unless they're locked up. Okay? That's the only way. That is the only way. They are going to be able to find a way to get a gun if they aren't locked up, if they want one. If they don't have one and they want one, they'll be able to do it. Okay, one way or the other. Okay, and if you can't keep criminals from getting a gun to do their job, then the people you're taking guns away from are people who are law-abiding citizens who want to be protected. Okay? Those are the ones you're taking them away from. And why would you want to do that? Why would you want to take away guns from people who just want to be protected? I don't know. Unless you want them to be terrified and to run to you to protect them, cops can't instantly appear the second you need a gun when someone is, mugging you or trying to do something else to you. Okay? You can't make a cop instantly appear the second you need them. It takes time, okay? It takes minutes, it might take a few minutes, but still, those are minutes that could be deadly. That could be minutes that somebody could take in the time they get there, can take your life, So, but I used to be in favor of gun control. I used to be in favor of the death penalty as well. I mean, if I thought that if someone commits a horrible crime, like murder, then they should lose their own life. Until it's like, okay, but what if they make a mistake? What if it's a case of mistaken identity, and then we execute them? We can't go back. You can't go back and raise them from the dead once you've executed them. Dead is dead. It doesn't do anyone any good, especially the family of the victim, to execute the wrong person. Okay? You execute an innocent person, well, guess what? You just made another victim. Okay? So, that's why I'm against it. Because if you make a mistake and you execute the wrong person, you can't go, oops, sorry, we were wrong, and we'll bring them back to life. Doesn't happen. Doesn't work that way. Once they're dead, they are dead, and that is it. Case closed, game over, So anyway, that's why I'm against the death penalty. But the reason why I'm against gun control is you are never going to be able to stop criminals from getting guns when they want one, okay? Unless they're locked up very securely in a prison that they're never going to get out of, okay? When you lock them up and throw away the key, then yeah. If that were the case for every criminal in the U.S., I would go, okay, sure, I'll agree with gun control, but then you don't need guns. Nobody would need them. You wouldn't need to protect yourself if all criminals were locked up and in prison. You wouldn't need them then. You wouldn't need gun control. So anyway, Mayim, if you could answer that question, or somebody else who supports gun control, that would be great. Answer the one question. How are you going to prevent all criminals from getting guns on the black market or the dark web? How are you going to prevent every criminal, not just a few, every one of them, okay? So, anyway, because if you can do that, I would support gun control. But until that day happens, no. There are too many people who live in neighborhoods who are so bad and so violent and so crime-ridden that you can't prevent criminals from having more victims if you take away all the guns. You take away all the guns, you're still going to have a lot of victims out there. You know, you're still going to have a lot of people who are going to be unarmed victims. You know, so anyway, I want people who support gun control to think about it. Think about what if you were in the position. You know, what if you lived in a bad neighborhood? You know, you're a law-abiding citizen. You just want to live and let live. You know, you just want people to leave you alone, just let you live. You know, well, you lived in a bad neighborhood. You didn't have a job that was good enough for you to live in a nice neighborhood. So you couldn't. So you had to live in a bad neighborhood. You know, what are you going to do? How are you going to prevent yourself from becoming a victim of the criminals that live in your neighborhood without a gun? You know, do you think you're going to be able to just live your life without ever becoming a victim? You know, good luck with that.